Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKX Jump here, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new Black Friday event for Idle Heroes. Now this event has had a lot of anticipation, and I've already heard news circling from other content creators that they're very excited. But unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that the event isn't good, and it's honestly just a massive trap for most people. In fact, the only good things about this event are a tiny few mini packages and of course rewards for people that have already spent in Idle Heroes in the past. If you were looking to get something amazing from this event that's actually part of the event itself, it's actually not very exciting. So let me break it all down for you so you know what and what not to go ahead and grab. Also, if you were thinking about trying out a new game anytime soon, why not think about Angel Legion, the sponsor of today's video? They've just released a brand new update to the game that lets you connect with your heroes in a way like never before, and as well, it's a really interesting idle RPG set in space where you take a journey with a hero called Maya and journey with her and the rest of your team to go and see what awaits you out in space. One cool thing is you can combine the skills of your heroes into combo attacks that deal really interesting effects to your opponents, which is really fun to do. And if you want some advice about the game, I actually do play it on this channel, and we've got some videos talking you through how to play the game. And if you wanted to try it out, why not download it on Android, as they've just opened a brand new server, Server 51. So go ahead, it's totally free, give it a try, and I'd love to see you there. So why not check out Angel Legion? It's another game I make videos for, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyway, with that said, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, to kick things off, every day for logging in, we're going to get ourselves 3 Heroic Summon Scrolls and 150 gems. This is super standard for a Heroic Summons event, and those gems are actually going to come in really useful if you're an established spender that was hoping to get some nice rewards with them. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this. Now, this week is a Heroic Summons event, so all the standard stuff is here. Palace of Eternity lets you swap Freya, Mockman, Arania, Holmes Young, and Azrael into a copy of the brand new hero. Now, I will be talking about him briefly towards the end of the video, so don't worry, I will be letting you know whether I think he's any good. Moving on, we have the Palace of Crystal. This allows you to get Eternal Crystals, and these are used in the Palace of Eternity as the currency to swap. So if I put in, for example, an Azrael here, it costs 10 of these crystals to swap into a copy of Vulcan, so make sure you're aware of that. To get them, every 400 Heroic Summon Scrolls will give you 5, but if you go ahead and buy the value package here, this gives a Palace Key, which once purchased will unlock the next stage below, and that will give you an additional 15. So for every Palace Key you buy, you'll unlock another stage, giving you 15 every time, assuming you've done the 400 scrolls necessary to get to that reward. Following on from this, we do have our usual value packages that are giving gems and Heroic Summon Scrolls, but as well, they're giving this currency called Obsidian Points. Now, it's important to know that 30 Obsidian Points are equal to 50 bucks, and you can use Story Gems to get these as well. This is an essential resource for those of you looking to get the most out of this Black Friday event. However, there is going to be a common question to this as to whether it's worth it, so I will be breaking that down for you very soon. Moving on, of course, we have the Heroic Lottery, which allows you to get armor every time you get a copy of Vulcan, so that's nice. Summon prizes are also giving you these Obsidian Points, so every 100 scrolls will get you 10 Obsidian Points, so that's 50 for 500, and you can do that up to 4 times, so you can get 200 Obsidian Points if you decided to use 2,000 scrolls. On top of that, you're getting the usual Heroic Summon Scrolls and Prophet Orbs. Valkyrie is the reward for 200 points. We got our usual core and soul symbols. For 400 we get Vulcan, and for 500 we get Glorious Relics and another core of Transcendence. So is this going to be worth it? Well, again, it depends on the additional rewards and what these Obsidian Points are going to get us. Further to that, we have the Hero Exchange event, which is giving Queen and Freya. Up to you whether you value this, but Queen is so easy to get. I do not know why she's in here, but it is what it is. And then finally, we have the Transcendence preview, reminding us that Vulcan will be the next Transcendence hero. And based on his skills, we have a lot of high hopes for this hero. I do think that he could be very strong as a Transcendence hero, but we have to wait and see if that's the case. Either way, let's go ahead and talk about the stuff unique to Black Friday. So this is going to be a bit difficult to take a look at because this menu is annoyingly only taking up half of what it is, but let me break it down for you. If you've not spent any money on the game, you can grab Heroic Summon Scrolls for 1,000 gems. That's pretty good. If you're a VIP 1, you can get 25 Heroic Summon Scrolls and a 6-star chest for 1,500 gems. Pretty decent. On top of that, for 2,000 gems, you can get yourself an Artifact Fragment and a skin pack. That's up to you whether you do want to spend 2,000 gems on this. I can see why people would want it, but I don't think you need to grab it. VIP 3 can go ahead and get themselves 10 Prophet Orbs for 2,500 gems. If you do buy Prophet Orbs for gems, that's actually pretty decent. You're getting twice as many as you normally would, but you also get 6-star orange armor in there as well. This could potentially be good for early players, as 6-star orange equipment is actually really hard to get your hands on, so I can definitely see the appeal. But if you're a late game player, you might want to skip this because, I mean, well, it's 10 Prophet Orbs. I mean, you could argue it's going to help you maybe complete an event, but really so many of you are sitting on a lot of Prophet Orbs that you might not grab this. It's really up to you whether you've got the spare gems. Moving on, for 3,000, you're going to get yourself 20 Heroic Summon Scrolls. And actually, just for that alone, it's not worth it. But on top of that, you do get an Imminent Hero Selection Chest. This could be good for accounts that need selection chests, but if you don't, I would actually think about skipping this. Moving on, if your VIP is even higher, you can get yourself Starspawn Material Chests. And I think this is VIP 6 that get this. That's got Starspawn Core 6s, 5s, and 4s, but you do have to choose one of the rewards. My gut instinct would be to go ahead and get 6s or 5s, typically 6s, as this will help you get your star spawns to the max level. On top of that, you also get a 9-star Light Puppet. That's great for 3,500 gems. Further to that, for 4,000 gems, you can get this amazing package which gives you everything you see, including the 50 Masters Toolboxes. This is great value. Add to that 25 Glorious Relics. I'm a big fan. Further along, for 4,500 gems, if you've got enough VIP levels inside you can get 10 Cores of Transcendence and 10-star Light Puppet as well. So that's really incredible value for Cores, a must-have if you've unlocked it. Further to that, you've got a Flag for 5,000, you've got an Artifact for 5,500, and if you do happen to be VIP 10 for 6,000, you get yourself 1 million Stellar Shards, 20 Cores of Transcendence, and 40 Glorious Relics. So all of these are really, really worth picking up, as they're crucial resources to help you. If you're VIP 11 for 6,500 gems, you can get Spiritual Essence and Glorious Relics. Further to that, for 7,000 gems, you can get Essence Sublimation, fantastic, and Glorious Relics. And all the way at the top, for 7,500 gems, you can get yourself a Core of Origin Shard, but humorously, it's only half a Core of Origin, which is absolutely infuriating if you are a VIP player and you can only buy it once. So poor old VIP 13 is getting screwed over a little bit there. I just don't know why it would only give one. At least give two, like... Come on, that's just stupid. Moving across, you can actually use Starry Gems, in fact, contract Starry Gems, to go ahead and buy some other stuff here. You can see you can get Heroic Summon Scrolls for 100, you can get Cores of Transcendence for 100, and you can get an Orange Artifact Exclusive Fragment for 100. For 100 as well, you get an Awakening Resonance Crystal. Now, this is where stuff starts to get interesting. Do remember, all of these are locked behind your VIP level, but... if you do have the VIP levels needed, which I believe is VIP 3, you get a C- Awakening Resonance Crystal. For 100 contract Starry Gems, this is a must grab, because even if the hero is bad, breaking them down again is actually going to get you 100 contract Starry Gems back, so it's immediately worth itself. So you have to get this if you've got the contract Starry Gems. It's really, really good, and then you can use that in a Gala event to go ahead and open up and get yourself some easy points. So these are pretty much must grab stockpiles to help you complete Gala events with very, very little money indeed, or in fact using none at all. So it makes using your Starry Gems really, really efficient during a Gala event, so I really, really do like the idea of grabbing this. VIP 4 get a Transcendence box, which is terrible. VIP 5 actually get a C Awakening Crystal for the same value as a C tier, so for the same reason as the C-, must grab this. We get this chest, which contains the newer heroes. I mean, for 175, I don't want to get this. Moving on though, 200, that's a C+ in value, you get a C+. Must grab. On top of that as well, we got a skin chest for Cloud Island, that's 250 gems. That's okay. Compare that to the mall, and you can see it's actually a reduction of 1,000 contract Starry Gems. No longer the eye-watering price of $50. Much, much better. The B- stone here, if you've unlocked it, is again a must grab because it's the same price as its value, 300 Starry Gems. On top of that, you do get this. Oh, so nice. Spiritual Essence and Stellar Shards for 450. If you've got them, I love the idea of getting this. And if you're VIP 11, you can get a B crystal, and that's going to cost you the same value as a B hero, which is 600. And moving even further down, VIP 13 for 1,800 contract Starry Gems can get a B+, which again is the same value as a B+ hero will get you if you remove them in the Soul Temple. So all of these Awakening Crystals are 100% worth it. Not to mention VIP 12, check this out. You can get a Sublimation Selection Chest, so again, that's really good if you happen to be VIP 12. But these spenders, again, it's great stuff if you already have the VIP level. If you don't, it's just a total slap in the face. Free-to-play players can't even enjoy most of this. Yes, it's good that you can get 25 scrolls for 1,000 gems, but that's about it. And look, another 30 for 100 contract story gems. I guess that's okay, but you probably don't even want to use your contract story gems for that, so probably not even going to get this if you're a free-to-play player. So, bit of a disappointment for you guys, but that's what Black Friday is all about. It's about rewarding people who have already spent. Now, on the topic of spending, let's see what these Obsidian points actually do for us. Well, if you get 10 of them, you get 20 Heroic Summon Scrolls. So if you use 100 scrolls, you get 20 back, as well as the 20 you'll normally get back, so it's like you've only used 60 scrolls. To some people, that's pretty good, but again, you've still used 60 scrolls, so maybe it's just still best saving them for Christmas. If you do use 300 scrolls, you get a luxury skin chest. Not worth it. If you use 700 scrolls, an imminent hero selection chest. Still not worth it. If you use 1,100 scrolls, you get a 10-star light puppet. What the heck? Right? Normal events give us an artifact for 900 scrolls. What the heck is going on? Oh, look, an artifact chest. 1,600 scrolls needed to get this. Not worth it. What's in this? The new artifact? No. What in the world are DH Games thinking with this value? It is awful. You should not use your scrolls this event. Wait until Christmas. Moving on, a 10-star light puppet cannot even be achieved without spending money. 2,000 scrolls will get you 200 points. So you have to then find the additional 10 points just so you can have a 10-star light puppet. Useless. And you see here that I have the frame at 260, but that's only because I have the other frame. Take a look at this. If I didn't already have that frame, I'd only be getting an artifact chest for getting to 260. Now remember, to get to 260, you have to go ahead and use 2,000 scrolls and spend 100 bucks, or heck, even spend more, and all that's going to get you is a copy of the new artifact, the Gilded Purple Fan, which we will talk about, and as well, it gets you the black gold rhythm frame. Now, this frame is interesting. It does give you all the bonuses of the previous frame, which if you don't already have, it's kind of cool, and it gives you all damage dealt. But there is one catch with this. It can only give you those abilities in Ace Championships, Arena, Guild Wars, Friendly Matches, Starland Arena, so all PvP, and then on top of that, Force War. So maybe the existence of Force War makes this appealing, but you've got to remember, it's only here for me because I already have the last frame because Sol bought it for me last year. If we go ahead and take a look at this little sheet here, you'll see that if you do not already have any of the previous frames, which is most of you, as a lot of people are new or returning players, you need to get all the way to the very bottom of this to get the frame. That is 650 points. Now, just to spoil it for you, that requires you to use 2,000 Heroic Summon Scrolls and spend $750. Is that worth it for a frame? No. So, you have to go and ask yourself, if you're a whale, do you want to have this? Because it's only going to affect you in PvP. Not really. It's purely whale bait. It's here to make whales go, ooh, I don't want to miss out. Everybody else has got cool frames. I want one. That's all it's there for. It's just, in my opinion, not worth grabbing. Just get the Starland frame, which is completely free. That gives you all damage dealt. That's totally fine. You can get that without spending any money at all. You just have to be somewhat decent at Starland. Also, the frame is just going to cost exactly the same next year. So if you plan on playing for until next year, then do that. Stick around, right? Play until next year, and then just buy the frame for exactly the same price. But actually, you'll have a much more established account, so you'll be able to actually do something in Force War, and hopefully there'll be more PvP game modes to enjoy that it's actually good in. So, yeah. If you want to get even more wild, another 60 points, which again, remind yourselves, is 100 bucks, is going to get you 30 cores. So you're not even getting a discount on cores. It's just exactly the same. On top of that as well, another 100 bucks is going to get you the artifact right here. So to go from 260 to 380 is another $200. $200 for an artifact. I'm sorry, what? And then keep going. This is over 200 to get another one. and you get this chest in the middle, which granted is kind of cool, but that's 100. No, this chest isn't worth $100. Keep going. Oh, boys, look at this. We can now select 1, so you get sublimation. Amazing. But what's that? That's over $100 for a sublimation chest. Are you on drugs? And then on top of that, oh, wow, to bridge the gap even further, again, over $100 is going to get you another artifact. Could you imagine? Right? That is insane. It's stupid. Artifacts now, you expect to get a chest for $50. Just because there's this brand new freaking artifact does not mean the price needs to be this inflated. This event sucks. You shouldn't use your scrolls for it, and spending is absolutely balmy. The only reason I am going to even consider spending is because I'm super close to VIP 11, and because I'm actually getting a massive, massive reduction in what I need to grab this frame. And actually, the frame is going to be fun for me because it's going to give this little bit of a healing bonus and all damage dealt, which will help me in Force War, which I imagine in the next year to come is going to be a game mode where I put a lot of my attention. So because I think I'm going to enjoy Force War, just like I enjoy Star Expedition, this frame will benefit me. But if you're early on in the game, you do not need this frame. If you're a whale, there are way better places to put your money. And don't forget that this brand new artifact, I promise you, in 3 months' time, is going to be much easier to grab. Just think how easy Melodic Strings is to grab right now. Right? That's exactly what happens with new artifacts. Melodic Strings was the newer artifact. Now they pretty much throw it into every single chest possible. I promise you, in 6 months' time, the Gilded Purple fan will be everywhere. So it doesn't matter if this artifact is good. Just wait to get it another time, because quite frankly, it's not even that needed. And we'll talk about it specifically. In fact, I'm going to talk about it now. So, the Gilded Purple fan, what does it do, right? Is this actually a good artifact that you need? Well, let's go to the Splendid form, because that typically is all that matters. It gives 25% HP. Okay, cool, the same as Crown. It gives 15% all damage dealt. Very interesting. Health with all damage dealt. Strange combo, but I can see why it would be good. Crit damage reduction. Very nice for keeping you alive against enemies that do critical damage, so that's pretty good for things like Force War. And on top of that, at the beginning of each battle or each round, you will gain a shield taking you up to 30% of max HP if you have a shield of 0 or less than 30% max HP. So basically, you get a 30% shield at the start of every round. Pretty interesting. On top of that, if you have a shield, you gain 50% reduction in all damage received. Kind of nice. But do remember, the Golden Crown has a flat 25% all damage reduction, which is going to affect your HP as well as your shields, and also gives you an increased 50% of all damage reduction, which again will help your HP. So arguably, Golden Crown is a better artifact for heroes with big HP pools. There is an argument, though, that heroes with big HP pools will absolutely appreciate a free 30 HP every round. So I think that's where the Gilded Purple fan will be good. Is for really overpowered heroes. Tree of Origin 5s, loads of tenants, super strong heroes with unreadable HP stats will absolutely love a 30% max HP shield that also has 50% damage received added to it. So that's really, really good. However, I also think this could be good on itty-bitty tiny heroes. So take a look at my account, for example. I have all of these fancy Transcendence heroes and then a Tree of Origin 1 Rogan. Now, the Rogan is the weakest hero in that lineup, so if I gave him this, he would gain shields every round, which would potentially bring up his HP or effective HP to something that makes him a little bit more competitive. But you do have to remember that also by doing that, you're sacrificing giving him something like a Demon Bell, which could energy feed the team and perhaps be more useful. So that is something to bear in mind. But also keeping Rogan alive means I am getting guaranteed stat bonuses every round, which is really nice. So I think it's also going to be good on squishy support heroes to keep them in the fight for longer, which again could be a reason to pick this artifact up. So I think it's arguably better than Crown in that sense as well. But for that awkward midpoint where you're actually at a point where you have a team that's fairly balanced and you don't have these overpowered heroes to either dwarf your team or make, massive use of these mega shields, I actually don't think the fan is going to be very good. So I don't think this is going to be an artifact that's going to be impactful for a lot of early players. There may be some interesting seal land clears with it, but typically I think you can just follow the typical artifact path of getting 1 golden crown, not 4 gilded fans, right? You get 1 golden crown and then 4 melodic strings, so you can deal a ton of damage to enemies, and only then do you want to consider something else like maybe the gilded purple fan. But really at that point you also want 8 demon bells. You want a Rui Scepter if you plan on building Lord of Fear Aspen. So, look, I don't think there's any point jumping on the Gilded Purple fan straight away, and it's absolutely not worth spending $750 on to get 4 copies, when I promise you in about 6 months' time, you'll be able to get 4 copies for pretty much $200 max. In fact, I think they'll probably give it for a lot of free-to-play players in a few months as well. So do not worry about that artifact. I don't think you need to jump at it straight away, and I definitely don't think it's worth the price tag currently attached. So move on, forget about it, and I think the same thing goes for almost everything here. The price tag is just here to try and get whales to have fear of missing out of this frame. And yeah, it will work. There will be whales that spend, but for the typical player, you don't need to worry about this at all. Moving on, we have a little bonus. So the first time you replenish your gems, you can get that again. So that's reset. Cute. And as well, you get a 50% bonus just for this week from Starry Gem purchases. So you'll see that you also get an added bonus of Starry Gems based on what you'd normally get, which I really, really like. I think this is great for those of you that want to grab Starry Gems. I'm definitely going to, just for this week alone, buy all of these packs so I get even more Starry Gems. Starry Gems will help me get a giant killer hero that's an A tier, so I definitely am going to do this. And also, as I said, I want to get to VIP 11 this event so I can maximize my Black Friday rewards. So I'm very close to VIP 11, and that will hopefully push me closer to the edge. On top of that, we also have this, the Black Friday package. Now, this is wild. Let me break this down for you. So it's giving 5,000 gems, 50 heroic summon scrolls, an artifact fragment, and the glitter privilege, which we'll talk about in a second, all for $15. That's actually pretty sweet value. I like this. But what does the glitter privilege do? Well, every time you obtain a 5-star hero from heroic summons, okay? It's not from shards, it's not from anywhere else, right? It's from heroic summons. So don't mishear, don't misread, don't get misled by someone telling you it's not. It's only from your heroic summons. So if you're not planning on scrolling, this isn't good. But if you are planning on scrolling, maybe think about this, because every 5-star hero is going to get you a point. Every 5 points is going to get you a core. Nice. On top of that, if you buy that package, it's going to get you an extra core. It's going to get you 10k spiritual essence and 50,000 stellar shards. So it's win more if you're planning on using your scrolls. I like this, right? If I was going to use my scrolls, I would buy this. So yeah, I'm actually a fan if you want to use your scrolls. But guys, a month's time is Christmas, one of the best, if not the best, scroll events of the year. Why on earth would you go ahead and use your scrolls now? Unless, of course, it was to get you more rewards from the Black Friday event, which we literally moments ago established was terrible, terrible value. So you almost definitely should not be using your scrolls this event. I might, but that, as I said, is only to grab this frame, because it's lower for me than most people. And that's it. Apart from one final thing, the Glamour Golden Card. This is the saving grace of the Black Friday event. This is incredible. $20 will get you 3,888 gems every day for 7 days. 15 glorious relics every day for 7 days. And 35 Master's Toolboxes every day for 7 days. Beautiful. On top of that, you also get a ton of Golden Spirit depending on your level every day for 7 days. So this is great. If you're an early player, your level will increase across the week, so buy this at the end of the week. If you're an established player, you might want to buy this now so that you can have gems to help you buy the stuff we looked at earlier, which of course can be purchased with gems as you go ahead and scroll through all these various things. So just worth bearing that in mind. And the final thing, folks, the last thing, this new hero. Should we talk about him? Should we see what he can actually do? Is he any good? What is this new hero bringing to the table? Well, his name's Vulcan. He's, what the heck, 1180? Not even that quick. There's no 12 there. That's a shame. So he's not a fast boy at all. He's about as slow as Garuda, only slightly quicker. And he's got attack, HP, holy damage, crit, and control immunity. Not that bad. Looking here, when he does a basic attack, he deals a little bit more damage to 2 random enemies with a 100% chance to gain some continuous ammo and a 60% chance to gain another continuous ammo. Now that, of course, gets improved to be a 100% chance to get a continuous ammo and a 75% chance to gain a continuous ammo. How nice. Now, if we take a look at his passive, basically, this is telling you the different ways that you can get ammo. So the passive doesn't actually do anything. It just gives him ammo so that he can go ahead and use it in his active skill. So the passive only benefits him and it only benefits his active skill. So it's not doing anything for the team. So that's immediately a red flag. When an ally releases a basic attack, he gets continuous ammo twice. Piercing ammo, he gets when you release active skills. There's a 100% chance to gain that. When an enemy dies, you get shotgun ammo. And if you exceed the caps on these ammos, as you can see, it's cap 3, cap 6, cap 12, you gain saturation status, which removes 1 debuff from you and gives you immunity to fear for 2 rounds. That's good against Aspens, I suppose. But the real big thing about being immune to fear is, well, he's able to do his basics, which then gives him energy, which lets him do this active skill, which uses all the ammo that he has to load his cannon and fire. That'll improve his damage reduction by 30% and grants him a shield. Pretty good. But the big stuff comes from the ammo consumption. Continuous ammo is going to blast out and increase his attack by 25% for 2 rounds. So every bit of continuous ammo he has is going to buff up his attack. Kind of scary. Piercing ammo increases his crit damage by 12%. Pretty exciting. Shotgun ammo is then going to increase his all damage dealt by 50%, and then when he acts next time, so that's delayed, he's going to deal 600% of attack damage to all enemies. Pretty interesting. But then on top of all of those bonuses, the continuous ammo is going to deal 800% of attack damage to 1 random enemy. The piercing ammo is going to do 1200% of attack damage that ignores armor to the 3 enemies with the lowest HP. Wild, that's going to shred teams. And then shotgun ammo deals damage to everybody, which is scaling with depending on how many enemies it hits. So if it's just 1, it's 2000% of damage to them. And of course, that's split across everybody else, depending on the number of surviving enemies. And yeah, it's crazy. And then of course, he gets a shield. So as you can see, he is dealing an astronomical amount of damage. So I think he's going to be a fantastic boss killer. He's going to be a big burst hero. He's a little too slow to be viable in PvP. And he may shred game modes like the Vortex or stuff like that if we can find ways to pump energy into him and of course trigger enough of these passives to give him enough ammo to pop off. But the problem is, if you are going to implement that strategy on your account, you expect his tenants to be good. The reason Eloise is so effective is not just because she's a good sustain hero, it's because her tenants are streamlined to encourage you to have a good form of play. So let's look at Vulcan's tenants to see if he's going to be a viable hero. Here we go, folks. Let's take a little look. We go to light, we look at Vulcan. Tenant spot 1, Eos and Morax. Terrible. Tenant spot 2, Tussilago and Onkiramaru. Well, besides the fact that Onkiramaru is a tenant for multiple other people, awful. Tenant spot 3, Andrea and Mockman. Horrendous. Tenant spot 4, Seahu and Freya. Somewhat decent as they're shared with Vesa and other good heroes and are actually pretty decent support heroes, but other than that, pretty terrible. There's no disruption from these heroes at all, and in fact, if you went ahead and read his skills one more time, you'll realize he has no healing, and he has no disruption, and he has no support. So he's not doing anything that benefits your account or your team, and therefore the later into the game you get, the worse he becomes, which means he's going to be a fast drop-off hero, like Garuda, like Penny. Vulcan isn't good. He is a primary damage dealer, and primary damage dealers are only good if their tenants are good, and they're actually going to be decent earlier on. He's a light hero, difficult to build, hard to justify, and with such wonky tenants, I don't think it's good. And also, look how messed up his animation is on his face. Whoever animated this needs to be fired, or should I say the person who okayed it for quality control needs to be sacked, because it's horrendous. Look at this. What do you expect from a game that makes millions every month? That kind of animation? No. Absolutely stupid. DH Games, I'm actually embarrassed for you that you released this hero. Awful. At least get the animation right. So overall, not a very, very good hero, unless of course you build a team dedicated to him. But at that point, considering he is not a Transcendence hero, that's not very good. That said though, if he is a Transcendence hero, which we know he will be, he has a very good chance to be incredible. So even though reading his stats doesn't set up for him to be an amazing hero now, I think he's going to be an incredible Transcendence hero if he sticks with this trend, because a Transcendence hero is absolutely worth building an account around. Some random light warrior, not so much. The event preview next week is going to be a standard Imps adventure. We've got Extra Drop Carnival as always, and we have Shelter Mission giving Saja, Annabelle, Queen. What the heck? Why is Queen? Are you mad? Are you on drugs, DH Games? Basic boring hero. She's not elite. What are you doing? And Freya as well, which is interesting. And Drake's in here again, so that's cool. If you haven't got any Drakes, there's a Drake for you if you're an early player. And Asmodel, Transcendence hero. Really weird Shelter Mission. But yeah, there you go, folks. That is next week's event. That's this week's event. And I have to say it is the most disappointing Black Friday event of all time. This would have been good value a year ago or 2 years ago, but it isn't 2020 where $100 for an artifact sounds good. This event is absolutely insane, and look, they didn't even put the obsidian symbol, right? See where that V is here? In the right place. It should match this symbol. So they absolutely put zero effort into this event. They copy and pasted last Black Friday, and they really haven't thought about what is value and what isn't. So yeah, folks, this is not an event worth spending your money on, save for Christmas, and it's an absolute joke. DH Games, how the heck did you mess up one of the biggest spending events of the year in such a way that no one's going to want to spend money on it? I have no idea. The only good stuff is the free stuff, assuming you already have a high VIP level. Folks, it's ridiculous. I'll see you next time. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And of course, happy idling.